And like we said, we mentioned in other episode, we talk about memories that go along with strong emotions are long lasting. So the same principle apply. When you express your emotion, you create an impression in the audience, and it helps them to remember you better, longer.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to associate your message and you with an emotion that is there. And one way to express that, it's actually your level of knowledge and passion for the content you're delivering.
Yeah. Right? So knowledge and passion
are two very important things. And so whenever you're given a choice to speak on something, pick something that you're passionate about, because the way I think of it is, why waste your time on talking about something you don't really feel it's that significant?
Well, sometimes it's a group project, and it's terrible, but you have to do it.
Yeah, right. And in the real world, you don't have to have that kind of sacrifice, right? So the first thing I think about is, I think about a power pose.
Power pose? You mean like this?
Like expanding your body, right? Because if you remember, you might have seen these in like Hollywood movies, where an employee walks into a big boss office. The big bosses never sit like this.
Oh yeah, they would lean back.
They
take
lean
up space.
Back. They put their leg on their table, and then they kind of go, "What do you need?" Right?
Yeah.
That I cannot do.
And part of that is exerting that power that you have. Create variety when you're speaking, both in your tone, in your pitch, and then also your pace. You can always speak really quickly when there are things that are coming up and you're making a point and it seems to be hitting people. So you want to keep eliciting that attention, right? You can always slow down and lower your tone and convey your message. If you really want people to think about something, you want to say, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about that. And so now you've gotten them to a point where they've slowed down their heartbeat, and now they're thinking and reflecting on what you're thinking and on what you're talking about.
Yeah, so your tone and pace can set the feeling for the atmosphere if you know how to use it well.
So, because when you're changing your pace, which is one of those things that it's easier to change, you don't have to be a very well-versed public speaker to be able to do it. Right? It just takes a little bit of practice on the content you're trying to deliver.
And one of the things that I find very interesting is to use stories and analogies, metaphors, and visual aids in your public speaking, because it helps people relate to your story. It helps people relate to the point that you are trying to make.
For me, because I spend a lot of time communicating with people through therapy, and so you notice that sometimes when you use analogies, people remember them better, right? And so sometimes I say things like, learning skills and balancing life is sort of like riding on a bicycle. You can't just ride by pedaling, right? You have to actually see where you're steering. And so you want to be able to paddle at the pace that you can steer, and pedal depending on whether or not you're going uphill or downhill. You have to make an adjustment to how fast or how slow you paddle. And balancing life is a little bit like that part.
At the most basic level, anxiety is when you become so focused on you, on what other people think of you. Like, do I look stupid? Do I sound...
What are they seeing?
Yeah, do I sound funny? And the antidote for that, and it works for most kind of anxiety, is you shift your focus from you to the other person, or from...
to the task.
Yeah, to the task. Like from inwardly focused to outwardly focused. So it helps. Like for public speaking, a trick, it could be you pick a person in the audience and you look at them and you speak as if you are speaking to them.